Hello, everybody. Hope you all had a wonderful week and you're ready for my week 4 picks. Week 3 went a little bit better than week 2, went 9-7, had a couple fumbles though along the way, but I'm just going to jump right in with one of the teams I was actually wrong about last week, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles look like they're struggling. People are dropping the ball. I'm not going to say all of it's on Carson Wentz. A little bit is on Carson Wentz, though. Their defense folded against a team I thought that they would actually do really well against in the Detroit Lions. Another team I was wrong about, and I'm going to get into them a little bit later. Nonetheless, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers did exactly what I thought they were going to do against the Denver Broncos, and there's no reason to think that they're not going to keep that up. It looks like this Matt LaFleur-Aaron Rodgers partnership is moving along very well for them. So we are going to pick the Green Bay Packers in Thursday Night Football. Seems like a lot of teams have not been playing well on Thursday Night Football. Let's go with a score of 24 to, I was going to say 17. Let's do 13. 24 to 13. Green Bay wins this one. Redskins at the Giants. Good for you, Daniel Jones. I was wrong about you too. Good for you, Giants fans. Good for you, Daniel Jones. I really like being able to see, like I was saying, I think it was in week 2, like I like seeing fans be excited for people. That Daniel Jones kid was fun to watch. He was slinging it all over the place. And you know who didn't look good last week, though? The Washington Redskins. Oh, man, that team's a train wreck. I'm taking the New York Giants. I'm taking Daniel Jones and the New York Giants here. This is a great game for the young kid to get more momentum flowing into coming weeks here. I don't know if he's going to put up as many points or rushing touchdowns as he did last week. I'm still taking the Giants, though. We're going to take the New York Football Giants. Let's say 28 to 12. I was going to say 20. Now, they're going to beat them pretty easily. Kansas City Chiefs at the Detroit Lions. We're picking the Chiefs again. I'm really sorry, Lions fans. I was wrong last week. I was wrong last week. Their defense buckled down when it needed to, overcame adversity. Matt Stafford played very well in that game. I don't think anybody can beat the Chiefs right now, though. It's like what I told the Colts fans last week. It's not your team. It's who you're playing against. So I don't want to spend too much time on this one. I do want to apologize to the Lions fans because I was wrong, and I'm very proud of your team for winning last week. But nonetheless, we're going to take the Chiefs 38 to 28. Titans at the Falcons. I was wrong about both of these teams last week because the Titans laid a huge old goose egg on Thursday Night Football, and I don't think they're going to bounce back from this one. Atlanta at least made it interesting. They kept it close with Indy. They got into the hole early, and then they almost came back. I think that momentum is going to serve them well, especially since they're at home. So I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons in this one, 17 to 10. A little bit lower scoring. Tennessee has a pretty good defense, so I think we're going to keep it both scores below 20. The Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. Cleveland kept that game on Sunday Night Football a lot closer than I thought they were going to with that makeshift defense, which they might be rolling out against this Baltimore Ravens team as well. I was not surprised with what happened to the Ravens against the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson still can't throw. He's a top-tier, world-class athlete. He's a top-tier football player. He is nowhere near a top-tier quarterback, though. He has a lot of issues throwing the deep ball, and ideally, that's where Cleveland's weakness is. Cleveland's weakness is also, it used to be defending the edges of the defense, but they did that really well against the Rams this week. I'm actually going to take the Cleveland Browns in this game. They won in week 4 last year with Baker Mayfield at the helm. Actually, that was a week 5 game. Yeah, that was a week 5 game. Sorry about that. Nonetheless, Baker Mayfield and the Browns are going to go into Baltimore. They're going to win this game. It is going to be close, though. So we will give it a final score of 26. Let's do 26-24. Raiders at the Colts. Congratulations, Colts. I'm sorry that I doubted you. Jacoby Brissett was slinging it. The injury to T.Y. Hilton does concern me, though. But not for this game, because the Raiders have reverted back to Raiders form. I don't think very much of the Oakland Raiders. I don't give them much of a chance in this game, especially being on the road. That's not fun. That Colts offensive line is really protecting Brissett right now. The defense is a little bit shaky, but Oakland's offense is still answering questions for themselves as well. I'm going to take the Colts in this one, 31-17. Patriots at the Bills. This is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be the Bills' first loss of the season, as many people will probably predict as well. It's not going to be a blowout, though, like the Patriots have been doing to people all season. Josh Allen and that defense are playing very good football, but they've played against lower-tiered teams up to this point in the season. They're now getting their first real taste of a division winner. It's going to be a close game all the way throughout, but Tom Brady is going to find that magic at the end of the game and bail out the Patriots. It's a good test for the Patriots defense too, because I don't think that they've faced a quarterback that has the sort of talents that Josh Allen has. But let's take the Patriots in this one, 24-21. Panthers at the Texans. Good for you as well, Kyle Allen. Another young quarterback getting his chance. But you played against one of the worst defenses in the NFL that can't guard a tight end to save their lives, and you have a very good tight end in Greg Olsen. The Houston Texans are a much better team. They proved that by coming back against the Chargers last week. And that was one of those games I was looking at like, I might be wrong on that one. And then Deshaun Watson just pulled a rabbit out of his hat like he's been doing most of the season. That's going to roll on through to this week as well. It's at Houston. That defense is going to get going sooner or later. This is the week I think Houston's defense is going to really feast. And they're going to take this game 27-13. All right, our weekly edition of let's get through this game as quickly as possible. I'm only giving you a score. The Dolphins have no chance at winning this game. Chargers 35, Dolphins 17. Josh Rosen will play better this week, though. Buccaneers at Rams. The Rams are going to get right back onto their winning ways of obliterating defenses in this one. If Daniel Jones is going to, and I'm not trying to slight Daniel Jones here, but it was his first NFL start. Like no experience per se at that level up till that point, and that Buccaneers defense let themselves get walked over. Now you have the defending NFC champs coming into your house. I don't think that there's a prayer that the Buccaneers win this game. They might be competitive early. I don't think they have the defensive personnel to do what Cleveland did last week, though. I also don't think they have the defensive coaching to do what they did last week. Todd Bowles is very much stubborn in the way that he runs his defense. He's going to do his blitzes, his man coverage. He's not going to look at what another person did and try and implement it. That's just not his style. Much like the head coach, Bruce Arians doesn't really do that either. The Buccaneers might be able to keep pace with them, but sooner or later that Rams defense is going to eat. So I'm going to take the Rams in this one, 38-28. Seahawks at Cardinals. I was wrong about the Cardinals and the Seahawks. I did not expect the New Orleans Saints, though, to go off for a defensive touchdown and a punt return touchdown. I don't think anybody did. Nonetheless, I think the Cardinals' struggles are going to continue. Sure, they're at home, but that Seattle team loves to run the ball, and I don't think the Cardinals are very good at stopping the run. I think that they've shown that through the first couple weeks of the season, sans week 1. The Seahawks also are going to be coming in angry because I don't think that they thought they were going to lose that game to the Saints. They almost came back if they had one more possession, but that's not how the game works. Let's go ahead and say that the Seahawks are going to come into Arizona. They're going to roll them like they have been the last couple of seasons. 31-10. No, I'm going to give Kyler Murray more credit than that. 31-21. I'll give Kyler Murray more credit than that. He's about the only thing that's keeping people optimistic about that team, though. They're going to ruin his career if they don't get him some help or change the system a little bit. Vikings at Bears. I'm going to go against my gut on this one and take the Chicago Bears. Everything in my being is telling me to pick the Minnesota Vikings here, but then I harken back to what I said in week 2. This is a big division game. If the Vikings win this game, they keep pace in the division. They kind of need to win this game to keep pace with Green Bay at this point, since they've already lost to them. It's not a must. Every game in the NFL is a must win, but Kirk Cousins never performs well in games like this. I just remember it was a primetime game a couple years ago. He totally stunk the bed up, and I don't trust him, especially against that defense. You saw what they did to Washington. I do not trust Mitchell Trubisky in that offense. But Mitchell Trubisky has been better in the clutch than Kirk Cousins has, especially in big games. So let's take the Bears 12-9. Jaguars at Broncos. Gardner Minshew, good for you, dude. I just keep underestimating these young quarterbacks. That's really what bit me last week. But that mustached maniac had himself a game last week. That touchdown down the sideline to Chark was incredible. And then he didn't really do anything for the rest of the game. Tennessee, though, has a very good defense, and so does Denver. I think this is going to be a really similar game where Minshew gets rolling early and then it deflates. The Broncos offense kind of found itself last week, though. So at home with that defense, I'm going to take the Broncos to win their first game of the season. This is another head scratcher pick for me. Like in my gut, I'm like, it's like 60-40, maybe 55-45 on this one. Nonetheless, I'm going to stick to my decision and pick the Denver Broncos 24 to 14. No, 24 to 21. I'm going to give Gardner Minshew a little bit more credit than that. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys at Saints. This is a really interesting game as well. With Drew Brees, this was game of the year material. And Teddy Bridgewater played incredibly well last week up in Seattle with the 12th man bearing down on him. Primetime game, though, and the Cowboys have been rolling through the season so far. I think they're going to take that momentum and win a close game here, even though it's in the Superdome. It's a really hard place to play. Dak Prescott looks like he's on a mission to not necessarily win a Super Bowl, but to get his $30 million a year. I think this is the first game that is going to convince the Cowboys to put pen to paper as far as giving him that contract. The Cowboys are absolutely rolling right now. And the Saints, if you don't score on defense and special teams, you don't win in Seattle. I don't think that's going to happen in this Sunday night game, so I'm going to take the Cowboys in a close one, 27-21. Monday Night Football, Bengals at Steelers. I was incorrect, though, about Mason Rudolph. I just picked the wrong young quarterback to put all my confidence in, but the Steelers' defense came out and played really well. That's very promising for that team, especially being 0-3. Both of these teams are 0-3. Even. And it's getting to the point where if the Browns beat the Ravens, whoever wins this game is right back in the division race. The AFC North is a really muddy division this year. I'm going to take the Steelers. The Bengals kind of have a reputation of not playing very well against the Steelers, especially in primetime. Late in games, they just kind of crumble. It doesn't really matter who their quarterback is. I'm going to say it pretty much every week until he gets back. The Bengals have so many issues winning games unless A.J. Green is there. So with that, we're going to pick Mason Rudolph, who might be coming into his own a little bit. He struggles. He's going to struggle tonight. Well, tonight. He's going to struggle Monday night, sorry. But the Steelers are going to roll to victory with a 27-20 victory over the Bengals. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to the picks this week. The record will be right down here over on this side. I believe we're 29-19 so far on the season, so we gotta bump that record up this week. Probably try and have twice as many victories as we do losses. If you have any questions or discussion topics you'd like to go over, or for me to do videos on possibly, the Twitter will be over here. You can reach out to me there or here on Facebook. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.